Hello there.
Hi, Bob.
Hello there.
I said hi, Bob.
What are you doing, Bob? Hello there. Now wait a second.
In this video, I'm going to show you how I made my paranormal slasher horror film, Hello There, all using TapNow, an AI video creative engine that has all the newest models from Seedance, Kling, Google, and more. By the end of this video, you'll be able to make a full horror film or any other genre entirely with AI. Let's go. I actually came up with this concept in a dream. It wasn't a nightmare, it's just that I was watching this movie in the dream, and when I woke up, I remembered it so clearly I knew I had to write it down. Then when TapNow reached out to partner with us on a short film, I just had to make it. There's a million ways to come up with creative ideas, but I can't recommend dreams enough. James Cameron came up with Terminator in a dream. Stephen King came up with Misery in a dream. The average person dreams multiple times a night, so start writing them down. You'll have endless movie ideas just waiting for you to make them. One of my other favorite ways to come up with movie ideas is called genre mashing. You just take two or more genres or subgenres and mash them together. Coming up with ideas for this new combined genre will be way easier and give you much more interesting concepts. Hello There is a mix between horror subgenres, paranormal, and the classic slasher film. Another great way to come up with ideas is just to take a familiar concept or character archetype and then transplant them into a different time or setting. There are a ton of slasher films, but this one's more unique in that it takes place in an aesthetic 1950s universe. Once you have the concept and your story, it's time to start generating the images. The most crucial element to getting great character consistency across your whole film is to create character turnarounds or character sheets. These show your character from a variety of different angles so that the AI has a more complete understanding of what they look like. Start your prompts with character turnaround or character sheet, and then describe the type of character you want, the style, and their clothing and features. Finally, end your prompt with on a white background, which isn't necessary, but a neutral white background does help the AI get a better understanding of the colors in different lighting and environments. You can do all of your character designs inside TapNow AI by using a model like Nano Banana Pro. Now it's time to start generating your keyframes. If you want consistency across your entire project, the best way to do that at the moment is to use start and end frames, as well as references. These are going to be the first or last frames of your shots to give the AI a clear idea of what's happening in your scene that you can consistently replicate from shot to shot, as well as the character turnarounds we created in the previous step. Once I have a style in mind, I figure out which keywords in my image prompt will reliably give me that style. Then I add those to almost every prompt I do. These can be things like narrow depth of field, cinematic, filmic, or more project-specific keywords like 1950s aesthetic. We also want to make sure we add our character turnarounds as references in addition to our prompt. This is going to allow us to add the characters we created earlier into the shots. Once you have your keyframe images generated, it's time to start generating videos. Every shot in Hello There was created using Kling 3.0 inside TapNow. If you head over to TapNow AI, you can then click Create New Project, and you'll be able to begin a new project workflow specifically for your film. It's incredibly easy to use, even though technically it's node-based. Just click the plus button over here and select whether you want to make an image, video, or something else. We're going to make a video. Then just drop your first keyframe image into the canvas and your character turnarounds for whoever's in the shot. Select your model. I use Kling 3.0, but you can use Seedance 2.0 or any other model you want. Then press the first frame button and select your keyframe image from the canvas. Now this will be your first frame of your video generation. If you have a last frame, you can add that as well. Next, right-click on your character turnaround and click Create Asset. Add a name, and then for category, select Character. Then click the video node again and press Add Element. You can select the character you just created from here. This allows TapNow and the AI model to use those images to understand your shot and keep everything inside them, including the characters, consistent. Finally, add your prompt, select whether you want multi-shot, the amount of videos you want to create, the length of the videos you want, and press Generate. The newer AI models can all generate audio along with the videos, so if you want to create a longer film, make sure you add no music to the end of your prompt. Otherwise, the music won't line up from generation to generation. One of the coolest features about TapNow is the TapNow Agent. Just click this button in the bottom right corner and it will create a new chat with the agent, or open the one you've already started. From here, you can just communicate with TapNow Agent using plain language. Just type in what you want and select any nodes from the canvas for context. If you want to reference a particular image or video you've selected, just type the @ symbol and select that reference from the dropdown. You can then add the rest of your prompt, upload any other references you want, select the mode, we're going to leave it on Pro, and then hit the send arrow to run it. TapNow Agent will explain exactly what it's doing as it goes, and it will even ask you necessary follow-up questions. In the chat, you can even click images or videos it generated in the thread, and it will jump directly to that on the canvas. You can also use voice input, which can save a ton of time. Just press this microphone button and you can speak directly to TapNow Agent. TapNow also has a ton of other wild features you can use to create stunning films and videos. The posture generator allows you to upload a reference image of your character and then drag the joints on a stickman to create any pose you want. You can also add a description of the action and then click generate pose. Draw to edit allows you to sketch on top of an image to give directions to the AI that it will then use to make those edits and create an entirely new image. You can ask it to add things into the shot, change characters or object positions, remove things, change backgrounds, colors, lighting, or anything else you can think of. Draw to video is the same thing as draw to edit, but for video. This is great for giving specific scene direction so you can have more control over what you want to have happen in the shot. TapNow also has templates, so you can use setups by other creators as a starting point for your own generations, or save your own templates to recreate things you've made in the past, as well as file management so you can quickly add previous generations to your canvas. You can also create team projects so that multiple people can all collaborate on the same film. You can even move private projects to the team if you want collaborators to help work on them as well. There are lots of tricks I use to make my AI films as good as possible. The first is multi-shot matching. I take an image I want to make into a video and then make sure multi-shot is selected. Then I add a prompt asking for multiple shots from different angles to show the whole location and click generate. Once I get a generation that shows the location in the best way, I just take screenshots of each angle so that I can use this to generate more videos from. Whether you use these as start frames or references, this will keep your location consistent throughout. Another trick I use is to create multiple character turnarounds as the characters change throughout the film. One of the characters, Bob, evolves over the course of the short as he gets bloodier and bloodier and even acquires an axe. Instead of reprompting to try to get that same amount of blood in each shot in the exact same places, I just create a new character turnaround of Bob with more blood in the right spots, and the axe as well so that it all stays consistent throughout. Another trick I use is multi-shot chaining. Since multi-shot allows you to create scenes made up of multiple shots, you can use a still from the last shot as the start frame for your next generation. This will keep everything a lot more consistent. One of the last tricks I used on Hello There was aesthetic references. I didn't just reference characters, scenes, and objects, I also used different images to reference the color grading, lighting, and aesthetic. Just select the image you want to reference on the canvas, add the @ symbol, and pick that image from the dropdown. Then type in what you want to use from that image, like reference the color grading and lighting from image 1, and hit generate. Once you have all your video clips in and your film edited, all that's left to do is export it.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. What happened?
Are you okay?
Hello there. Bob, you okay? Hello there.
These are just a few of the mind-blowing things you can do with TapNow, so head over to TapNow AI or click the link in the description where you can find my full workflow so you can learn my exact process. We'll see you in the next one.